Hi team, you're watching Questing Time. I'm Paul, your Dungeon Master and host, and this is episode 16, part 2. Our players are riding a magical boat through the elemental plane of air towards an infinitely large storm to fight a minotaur called Lucifer Gravy to rescue a cloud giant to help them escape the plane of air. They've gotten the lend of the ship, the F.A.R, from Flynn O'Bannon, who's with them, and they're making their way to this big storm where the Gravy Boys live. The Gravy Boys are a criminal gang, quite a large criminal gang that have been referenced in previous episodes, who have a stupid name that I came up with when I was very tired. Anyway, that's what's going on. Enjoy the show. There's some really interesting stuff that comes up in this episode, a particularly important conversation with an NPC. See if you can spot it. Anyway, enjoy. I'll see you at the end. Right, so you guys have got about an hour of flying time if you want to do any prep.
Can I have a look below deck?
Yeah, you can. There is if you open the hatch, it goes down. You go down into there is a directly beneath where the mast and helm is. There is a large, what appears to be glass tank. There's another staircase heading down another level. And there are two doors, one to the fore and one to the aft.
Well, I will go down.
There's a hammock on this level as well. You go down, there's a rod leading from underneath that bottle to the outside. In the basement, on the lower floor, it's a bit more cramped down here. And worryingly, you can hear the ship's timbers creaking a bit. What you can find here is there's a mural on one of the walls of a skeletal king who's been painted in such a way that he looks like a bunch of people are doing a shit on him.
I look at it and giggle.
Yeah.
What it looks is this the kind of art you'd have at home, Jack?
I'm actually very offended by both that painting and the fact that you would ask me that.
I was just wondering because it was someone shitting on something.
Oh, what?
So I just wondered if that's like...
Wait, so you're thinking the moment I shat myself was a proud moment in my life?
Well, I don't... It seems like a recurring theme in your life, so I didn't know if you were a fan of that kind of art.
No, I don't have pictures of people shitting in my house.
No.
Do you have them in your toilet outside? I'm a
Instructional.
I say, who said that?
I don't know.
Weeks?
Yes, it was, Mr. Hardcastle, and I could nibble your bottom. And I put him to his bump.
Get off me, get off.
From the front of the boat, all you can hear is laughter broken with Ruff going.
Yeah, I just instinctively join in.
He acted would never sing again, and already same day.
Lovely stuff.
Guys, we should practice being Gravy Boys.
Okay, guys, I really want to be a Gravy Boy, so I'm going to come clean. I've been here the whole time, and I'm invisible.
Whoa! Phillin.
I know. Yep. All those things Squeak said was me. I know. What? Classic Phillin pranks. Mr.
Claire pretends to have a heart attack in shock.
I know. And you get this? Mr. Flynn was in on it all the time. Isn't he good? Yeah. Isn't he good? But yeah, I don't know how long it'll last, so I don't know. And yes, I will. Well done, Suicidal Muppet. I'm Phillin pranks now.
I'm actually just going to leave you guys here for a second practicing Gravy Boys, partly for a reason that I won't explain, but partly because I don't want to be near Phillin. I'm going to have a word with Flynn. I'll be right back. I got onto the deck.
Sure. You climb the 2 sets of stairs to the deck. And you're once again in the quite breezy atmosphere of the upper deck. The wind ruffles your weird, the unusual sensation of having wind in your hair, as you still have a magical short back and sides as a result of that magical accident.
Paul, can I request a moment at the front of the ship with Jack and you describe in detail a slow motion wind through the hair? I'd just like to see how that feels.
We'll do that in a minute. We'll see let's see what Richard wants to do with Flynn first. Flynn is actually in the cabin at the back, rummaging through charts.
Flynn, Mr. Boatman.
Yeah, I'm here, Mr. Boatman.
Sorry, I just was trying to get your attention.
From the front of the boat, you hear, "Wait, Mr. Boatman, wait, Mr. Boatman."
Maybe close that door.
Mr. Boatman,
Right.
I can see.
Closes the door and Ruff gets quieter.
Sorry, they're a very noisy group. I apologize. Listen, I just wanted to ask you something. Did I do anything strange last night?
Well, that's hard to say given that I don't know you. Or what your regular behavior would be like. And considering where we are,
let's say
which is in a magical air kingdom, like... What's strange? Look, last night, what seemed to happen was you seemed to have a fun time getting involved with your friends, and I don't know, like, I don't know you, but it felt like you just let loose. Now, if that's weird, then oh no.
Wow.
If your behavior last night was weird, then how genuinely tragic. But no, it seemed like last night you just had a good time with your friends.
Wow, a good time with my friends. Okay. Is that a pebble?
Yeah, your friend, your mate Claire gave it to me.
She got you that? Oh.
When you say got me that, you mean like, I assume she found it on the floor and went, oh, this looks a bit like a dog.
It kind of looks like a dog.
Yeah, you've got to want it.
Yeah. That's nice of her. You know, she's her family are evil, so that's kind of a nice thing. Just her family are evil. But yeah, don't.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, her family are awful people who conduct evil acts in the town where we originated from. So yeah, don't get attached. Yeah.
What?
I'm just saying, just watch yourself. Huh?
Right. Sorry. Are you two a thing?
What? No. No, God, no! I hate her with a passion. I would never. No, shush, you with your Mr. Boatman. No, Mr. Boatman.
Rick, make a persuasion check, and I'm going to look at it.
Actually crying.
7. I have 22.
Okay.
So what I'm going to ask Richard, is what Jack is saying true, or is it untrue?
Well, it's true that they're not a thing, but I don't think it's untrue that he doesn't want that necessarily.
Right.
What? Hang on.
None of you know this. This is all between Richard's character, my old player character from a Ravenloft game 15 years ago, and the audience of people watching. Right.
We got a Reverend Rachel thing going on here.
So look, mate, look, dude, take it from me. Like, don't be a twat about this kind of thing. It's easy to prioritize other stuff, but if someone's important to you, just let that be a thing. Trust me, I'm older than I've been around and I've made mistakes. And he points to his. In fact, he lifts up the bandana that's over. He's got like a bandana over his eye. He lifts up the bandana, and the flesh behind it is black and grey and cracked, and the eye in the eye socket is just like it's like coal. He's like, yeah, I've made errors.
Are you just doing that because you have a worse eye injury than I have? Is this a competition thing?
No.
Do you think I'm a dick? You said I was a dick.
I'm saying you're acting like a fucking child. Right? Get over your fucking self.
All
right, her family are arseholes.
You
But
get over
she's not.
yourself. Yeah, but you know, it's everything I stand for. It's who I am. How do you fundamentally change that?
Well, you start.
Right. Like I'm going to
Start small, like, I don't know, having a fun night out with your friends where you wouldn't ordinarily have done it. I think you've already started to change that. Just get out of its way.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And I leave.
Like, for a moment then, I forgot that was a reference to last night, where I was like, what a weird response. But yeah, go fuck yourself. I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah. All right.
As Hardcore stumbles off, he hears from the front of the ship, Dad, 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 Dad,
It's so hard to sing.
Lovely stuff. So as we go on, there's a few little vignettes. There's a Flynn is clearly fiddling around with the violin for a bit and is playing. What is he playing? Playing quite a melancholy tune about a lighthouse living through many lighthouse keepers and families, being alone in perpetuity, which has a sort of bluegrass vibe to it. But yeah, everyone else is still pottering around the boat. Matt, you wanted a montage of Titanic bullshit.
Very much so.
Lovely stuff. What would you like to have happen?
I'd like
Phillin, I assume, is spending a lot of time stood at the front of the ship doing this.
screaming, "Jack, I'm flying!" Yeah.
I put my arms around him.
Come on, Mr. Jack, join us. We're flying.
We're king of the world.
I go up to Flynn and ask, Mr. Flynn, as well as being musical, are you any way artistic?
Like how?
Could you draw me?
I know where this is going, and no.
Well,
okay.
While they're at the very front of the boat, by the way, from below, you can just hear honk honk honk, honk 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 honk, honk honk honk, honk honk.
Nice.
Oh, God.
And so this goes on for a little while. All the scenes from Titanic are effectively reenacted. And then, so as you're approaching this, the storm you're approaching is gargantuan. enormous. This roiling mass of dark clouds, lightning flashing within it. You can see like sub-storms happening inside of it at like different angles. It's it's a terrifying thing. You can see every now and then a small ship or something flies out of it and it travels off in a different direction. But so you can see this thing looming before you. It's like, so Flynn's like, right, so we're going into that. Before we do, there's some stuff we need to cover. One, from the charts I can find, you know how in here gravity's whatever you want it to be. That is not the case on the inside of that.
Okay.
Heavy gravity on the inside of that?
Oh, there is.
Okay, good.
It's its own. Right? I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's demiplaning there or something else. I don't know the rules. But I'll tell you this, gravity is not yours to play with once you get on the inside. And two, yeah.
Can I just ask, is this happening within my earshot or not?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He's very deliberately briefing all of you. He's probably tried to coax you up onto the deck, or if not, is at least move towards the front of the ship so you can hear.
Yeah, we're all leaning over to make sure Ruff can hear.
Yeah. Mr. Flynn, I couldn't help notice, but you're trying to get Mr. Ruff to hear this. I got a bit of a simple technique. Do you have a bottle of, say, rum or something like that?
He'll come on board.
Just uncork that, and he will respond to that sound.
Right. He goes back into the cabin. Actually, he goes downstairs. He goes downstairs onto the deck, goes into one of the cabins, and produces. It comes back up with a bottle. At which point it's like, somebody else want to open this. I don't want to get tackled.
I got this.
Cool. Boom. And like visible scent wafts. Now I think about it, away from the front of the ship because of how smell works in the wind.
I hear the sound of a cork coming out of a bottle.
Yeah.
And like you know when in old like 40s cartoon.
I assume you float on the smell like Pepe Le Pew.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just hold it out without even lifting. Continue, Mr. Flynn. He'll be with us in a sec.
Also, I should point out, the three of you who could see the bottle, I was like, it's just got medicinal alcohol written on it.
We find with Ruff it is.
Yeah. In which Ruff just floats towards the bottle, mouth first.
It's like ballet. It's so delicate. The float comes. I'm like drifting over the top of my lips, just perfectly make the same circumference as the top of the bottle.
Yeah, it's like the docking sequence in 2001: A Space Odyssey. The Blue Danube is playing. You're rotating one way, the bottle's rotating another way.
I can't let you drink that, Mr. Ruff.
Punches you. So yeah, sure. You've got some meeting booze, so okay. So right, as I understand it, you guys have got some means of appearing as if you are part of the gang. Yes.
Yeah, and
Right.
I hand out the little blue things.
Okay, they're basically like blue sashes or bandanas, or like it's just like a what's the word I'm looking for? A evident swash of blue fabric with a particular. As you look at it, it's actually a very fine blue pattern, but there's little point going into that. However, I will say that 1, 2, 3, 4. Ruff, the one Ruff is given, has a very evident blood stain over a lot of it. Right, so a couple of things. One, the place in there, from what I understand, is huge and well staffed. So let's just be clear. I will fly us through the storm, which we should also talk about, and we'll get to that in a second. I will then disguise the ship and get us to one of the docking pylons, and from there, good luck. It's then I have to sneak out. But we'll find out where the tower is, and then I don't know where they're holding your friend.
Okay.
Right? But Yeah, like that. Let's not fuck about, because there's a lot of them in there, and they're pretty dangerous.
I start sort of muttering. You can sort of hear. I just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. I keep saying, "Send help! Come quick!"
Right.
Sort of to myself as this conversation is going on.
Okay, great. That's how he's broken. So that's
Oh no, he's drinking. He'll be fine.
all right. So also the storm. We don't want. Look, you want to stay on the boat. Under no circumstances do you want to be off the boat in the storm. You'll just get blown away, and there's lightning and a variety of other things out there. So I've got what appears to be a relatively safe passage through there, but these charts are old, so I don't know how likely that's going to... Look, I don't know how good these charts are. We'll chance it, because what option do we have? Right? But what I'm saying is, it's going to get rough, and it's going to get rough quickly.
As you say that, I mouth open go to Ruff.
Okay.
Quick question there, Mr. Flynn. You said there'd be lightning. Is this boat in any way lightning resistant? Because I wear metal.
One, I don't believe it is, and two, you clearly don't wear metal. He does, pointing at he points at the cleric who's wearing like just loads of metal armor, and him. But you're wearing what appears to be the lower half of a soiled pantomime horse costume.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm going to get out of my tree costume because that's also going to get hit by lightning.
I start saying wire.
Okay.
Ruff, are you okay?
Just keep saying wire.
Wire what? Wire horse. Wire thingy.
Yeah, I wire. I've seen it on the spikes.
Oh, I think he's saying we put wire on the spikes, it will help with the lightning. For me, I think that would make it worse, but I think it's a succinct enough instruction that we try it.
Okay, where do you get wire from?
Oh yeah, Flynn, do you have any wire?
No, not as I'm aware.
Well, let's just try rope. We've got rope.
Oh yeah, loads of rope.
Does
We
that,
tie rope.
will that have the effect that... Okay, let's try it.
I just want to be clear here. Are we sending Mr. Ruff up to be a dwarf lightning rod?
I think we're trying to stop him from getting hit by lightning, Phillin.
Was just checking. I was just spitballing here. Nothing to think about. Not using my friends as no lightning rods. Shut up, you.
And I go no rope.
No rope. Well,
And I start taking off the spiked armor.
oh yeah, that would have been an easier option. Guys who are wearing metal, take off your metal.
I slowly start to take off my pantomime.
Not you, Phillin, not you.
And,
But I can take my tree costume off.
and then with the bit of rope, I start. I'm absolutely flying, but I'm basically tying the spikes and the rope and whatever. Has Hardcore taken off his chainmail?
I will take it off. I'll take off, my splint mail, because it seems like no good things happen to Hardcore. Like, the one thing he just spent all his money on, he doesn't get to wear. That seems right. That's on brand.
And I also tie my hammer of breaching into that pack with the rope, So basically, all the metal things are in one place. I tie one end of the rope to the back to the masthead, and then throw all of the metal over the side, acting as an attractor for possible lightning.
See, I told you, Flynn. Give him some alcohol and he's a goddamn genius.
Okay. Lovely stuff. At which point, like, the Reverend is like a quarter of the way through removing his armor when all this happens.
Oh, Phillin, there's no hand.
What?
There's no hand on his back.
Maybe that was a dream I had, but I swear to God I branded someone with my hand. I don't know, Miss Claire. It was a wild night, wasn't it? A wild night.
As they say that, they catch sight of me bundling up all my armour, and there's a red branded hand. Like the fingers of it just above the line of my belt. It's much further down.
And just Flibbin written underneath it.
Lovely. And as that happens, the wind picks up as the F.A.R. makes its way into this wall of storm clouds. Rufus has tied all of his stuff into all of his metal objects, I believe, except for his axe.
Yeah, but I that's correct. Not my axe, but I'm going to.
I've got a bedroll. Wrap it up in a bedroll.
I'm gonna wrap that in a bedroll.
Make it look like a sushi axe.
Okay, let's just be clear, Paul. We know what you like. All our metal. We've checked it. We've put it in the bedroll. We've secured it so it can't roll away. A lightning bird can't come and steal it.
I've also, because I saw Ruff do what he did, I tied a rope around my tree costume and also threw it overboard, assuming it would also act as a lightning rod.
And then we quintuple checked all the knots, and they were all really
tight.
Really good.
Flynn, we're new to this sort of aeronautical stuff. Are these strong knots? And he said yes.
Yeah.
Great. At which point, you, Flynn, pilots the ship into the storm front. As soon as he gets near it, the air around you becomes incredibly turbulent. And what I love is that all of you have tied things to the ship, but not one of you is tied yourselves.
I've just done it now.
Hang on. In fairness,
I hear us say we tied ourselves to the ship.
None of you had said that.
No, but equally, once it started getting even remotely rocky, you just run into the cabin.
Yeah, we're in the cabin.
There is that, but none of you have said this. I'm assuming the first move is to go into the cabin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, can everybody please make a dexterity saving throw?
I'm good on decks as well. I'm good on decks, and I'm good on decks, guys. Because
Yeah, I get it.
things switch.
I mean, I get it. The Reverend Jack Harkle does not get it. To be
Yeah.
Actually, do you know what? Can you make a note of what those checks were?
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to ask you to do is to prepare the ship for the storm. Because I found some rules for this that James Hayek had written on D&D Beyond. To prepare the ship for the storm, I'd like each of you to make either an athletics or athletics or acrobatics check to prepare the boat. So to batten down anything loose, to secure loose things, to tie lightning rods to the side of the boat, just to see if you're successful, it will reduce some of your problems.
Did you say it could be athletics?
Or acrobatics.
I rolled a natural, and I've got a +3 on acrobatics, so that's where I'm going.
Lovely stuff. Rich?
I got 18.
Cool. Briony?
16.
And Rufus?
7.
Okay, great.
You are quite drunk still.
I'm still happy to be shit.
So, Matt, you what you did, a fit of, it's unclear as to why you're doing it, like what's prompted Phillin to do this, but you run down into the hold and just latch cargo netting over the boxes and stuff down there. to keep that secure. Richard, you clip the 2 ballistas, which are in swivel mounts, using like some ropes and chains that are there, into position on deck. Briony, you secure some loot equipment that everybody else has. And Rufus, you confidently tie your weaponry and armour to the ship. At which point, now, the dexterity saves from everybody else as the storm hits, or as you hit the storm.
I got 17.
Was that Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Gore twins.
Briony?
Oh,
What did you get?
17.
Rich?
15.
And Rufus?
10.
Cool. So that you're buffeted around a bit. The good news is the preparatory measures you've taken for the ship have dropped this from 3d6 to 1d6 damage. And Rufus, you simply take 4 damage as you're entering the cabin. The ship lurches to one side, and you stumble and just crack your head on the side of the table that's in there. Although it's worth noting the table is just screwed into the floor.
Okay.
So you've got a gash on your forehead that actually looks kind of badass.
Yeah.
Once you've stood up.
I assume you try and fight it for a split second before you realise it's a table.
Yeah.
3 midgets. I mutter under my breath.
It's a table, Ruff, it's a table.
Right, I
Table.
As you bellow into the storm, the ship is being rocked left and right. You can see through the windows of the cabin, rain is now lashing the boat. Lightning sparks in the distance, but it's happening in loads of different directions at once. Sort of like just spider webs of light peering through the darkness occasionally. Can everyone make perception checks, please?
Ooh,
Yeah, same. 19.
17. I was looking for my first 0.
also 17.
We're alert.
Rich?
We're on 18.
Great. So all of you, as you're looking through the windows on the port side of the ship, you can make out it's silhouetted by lightning. You can see there is a large boat coming at you. It's coming at you at it's at 90 degrees to you guys, so its gravity is subjectively different to yours, but it is sailing towards you. And again, this one has 3 inflatable balloons around the central hub of it, and 2 sort of big sails, but they're parallel to the boat on either side of it. You can see that sailing towards you through the night, through this dark storm. Every now and then, the lightning stops crashing, you lose track of it, but all of you are kind of tracking it. It's on an intercept course with you guys.
Oh wait, I cast silent image at the front of the boat. Can it move with us, silent image, or does it stay still?
But if you cast it on an object, it will move with that object.
Okay, so I can cast it on the front of the boat.
Yes.
So it looks just like the rest of the storm. So the boat's effectively invisible.
As you're... Okay. I don't think silent image can hide much of the boat. Let me just double check.
Okay.
But bear in mind, they were already flying towards you. They had seen you.
And now it just looked like we've left. That's why
It will look like someone casted a disguise spell on the boat. Silent image. It's 15-foot cube. It can affect.
for our boat.
It's not big enough to. The boat's about 25 foot wide at its widest point.
You know what, though? I feel I already said it.
Yeah. So you to make the middle of the boat look like it's not there.
At the same time as she does this, I realise what she's doing, and I cast Minor Illusion as a scaled version of our boat to hope that they think it's gone further away.
What's happening is like an insane MC Escher drawing of this boat. Flynn from the deck just turns around like, "What the fuck are you two doing?
We're trying to make the ship less visible.
They've seen us! If we vanish, that would... Christ!"
Yes, but that's why he made a little version of our boat, so they're like, oh look, they're going further away.
Hey,
Turn the fucking spells off.
Okay, I turned the silent image off because it seems like he knows what he's talking about.
I turn mine off, but gradually reduce it just in case it's working.
In the end of it, can you just put it above your hand, going, "I'm a monster"?
One of it behind, like Finn leans back and like, for one of you, find the chart for this place, quick. And
Okay.
you turn around and see that all of the charts on the table have just been, they're all over the place. So
Okay.
we'll take investigation checks from everybody at disadvantage.
And some of them have been slightly obscured by my forehead blood.
Yes,
Yeah.
A disadvantage.
Yeah.
Did you say, Paul?
I did.
That will be a big fat add the 2. Yeah, that'll be a 4 for me.
Not doing much better on 6.
I've got 16.
What is going on with you today?
I've changed dice. Different colour, different man.
Was it an insight check?
Investigation.
Investigation, sorry. 5.
Fair enough. So none of you find anything substantive, except for all of you are rummaging around in this sort of pit of charts, pulling stuff off shelves, going through these scroll tubes, and then Hardcore just goes, "Oh, it's that one." Almost like CSIing it.
Then
Is
hand
it-
it to Flynn. Hand it to Flynn.
I do, but I say paperwork is my speciality as I take it.
You know that isn't a boast, right?
I'll hand it to Flynn.
Well, Flynn's out in the storm. As you open the door, he's like, "Don't fuck it, it's paper! Don't hand it to me, it'll blow away." What's the code? There's a code on it. What's the code?
7, 3. Wait, I don't think I can improvise this.
Sure enough, as this much bigger ship bristling with ballista and what look like they might be flamethrowers, pulls up next to your little skiff in this sort of weirdly still moment in the storm. A guy just leans over the side and just shouts like, "What's the code?" At which point Flynn goes, 7-3. I don't think I can improvise this. At which point, that guy kind of goes, a bigger Minotaur kind of goes, "Do they have code clearance?" And the first guy goes, "It's an older code, sir, but it checks out." Why do we have older codes? What's the point? If there's multiple codes, I'm going to write a letter. On you go. And sure enough, you sail on.
Inspiration.
Thank you.
No, wait, he can use that to kill us. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Luckily, he never lets me assign anything to anyone, so it's fine.
No, I'll allow this.
Oh.
You sail on through the storm. Make a roll for Flynn. Shit. Right, can everyone make dexterity saving throws, please?
Or you could use your inspiration, Paul. 16 plus.
Was it dexterity? Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, 19.
I'm on 8.
I'm on 9.
I rolled a natural 20, so 21.
Cool. So Rufus, you don't take any damage. What you do instead is just jump over the table. There's a massive jolt as the ship is caught in a crosswind that nobody was expecting. Broadly, what's happening is Flynn is leading the ship through a sort of complex, irregular spiral through a channel of relatively stable air. There's a jolt as the ship is blown off course into a much stormier area. So Rufus takes no damage. The table comes loose and just slams into the wall, clipping a few of you as it goes past. What Rufus does, he doesn't jump it. Instead, he just he leans back, Matrix style, as the table slides over him.
There is a spoon.
Matt, what did you get?
I got 19, and can I request to use this room and my golden dancing trousers to sort of Jamiroquai virtual insanity around the room?
Yeah, you absolutely can. All right, fine. You take half damage of half damage. You take 3 damage. Matt, Richard, what did you get?
8.
8, I'm afraid you take 12 bludgeoning damage as one of the bookshelves slides across and pins you to the wall briefly. Briony?
I got 9 because I was distracted by Phillin's awesome dance moves.
Also 12 damage as books and a few heavy objects slam into Claire.
Books are normally my friends.
And hang on a second. Christ. There's a brief moment where Flynn is holding onto the steering wheel but at 90 degrees to the ship, but he just makes his deck save. But it's almost blown off into the storm. And then... Okay, cool. Then the ship is hit with lightning. But great news, it just blows a chunk out of the side. Most of it is attracted to the ball of metal you guys are dragging behind it. So the ship is scarred and smoking and has seen much better days. Interesting. And then, sure enough, almost immediately, the storm quells, and you're in, what's the word I'm looking for? There is a moment where all of you fall backwards against the back of the ship until Finn adjusts it for the gravity that you're entering into. And you are in a perfectly calm environment. You step out onto the deck, and ahead of you and above you, you can see a large stone structure floating in midair. It has sort of I think imperialist Rome a look to it. But it's just a big orb with a load of little airships tethered to it at docking pylons at different heights, and balconies and whatnot leading off it. It's this large grey round thing hovering in this relatively still it's a still area of air. All around it is this circular storm, giving it a somewhat cool but heavy 1980s heavy metal album cover background.
Nice.
And Phillin is flying the ship towards it. He's like, right. Not Phillin. Flynn is flying the ship towards it.
Gonna say.
Right.
Phillin can fly the ship if you want him to.
Well, look, here's the thing.
Stop!
I'm going to need to focus on a spell just now.
Okay. Probably don't.
So I need one of you lot to take the wheel.
I take the wheel.
I put his hand down.
What skill is used to steer a ship?
It's just you if you're proficient with air vehicles, which I can't imagine that any of you are.
No? Sleight of hand any good?
Probably not.
What, survival? No, what would it be?
I'm already walking towards the wheel.
I'm gonna try and I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna do acrobat over him and take the wheel.
Paul,
Yes.
could I just pitch that Flynn saying someone needs to and then seeing Phillin walk towards him might inspire Flynn to then actually choose who he wants to take the wheel? Because it is his life at stake as well. If the person who kept telling you to make him invisible and then making a dragon talk was going to be the person that steered it.
So Flynn sees Phillin walk towards the wheel confidently. Matt, I'd like you to make a persuasion roll, just to see how confident you look.
I've rolled 15 and my persuasion is +3, so it's 18.
Oh no!
At which point Flynn just goes, "Fuck it, I'm a gambler," and casts a major image on the ship.
Okay.
Giving it the appearance of one of the Gravy Boys' ships.
Okay.
Oh, if I'd known you'd done that, I wouldn't have done the silent image thing.
Up top, right? To see those the docking pylons, right? From my notes, those are far less important ones, so I think they'll be less guarded.
Okay. How does the ship go up, down, left, or right?
Yeah, good point. He goes back to focusing on the spell.
I just nudged the wheel in
Matt,
different directions.
Make an Arcana check, please.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's not how we do this stuff. Do you know what though? This dice again this week is 17 plus 3, so that's a rough.
Okay. So what the ship's helm is effectively an amalgamation of 5 or 6 small magic items, all working in tandem.
Oh, this is my game.
And yeah, it is. So what you reckon? It's all means of communicating clear instructions to a fire elemental who's bound to the ship.
I realise that, and I just very casually go, "Oh, it's just actually just 5 things. It's bound to a fire element. I got this, guys."
So bear in mind, I'm going to ask you, what skill do you want to try and use to pilot this ship?
Oh, it's bound to an elemental.
Yep.
So, I guess. Do you know what? I'm going to go performance.
Good choice.
Great.
Just feel it out, guys.
Feel it out.
Do you want me to roll it?
Lovely. You absolutely. I love that you've picked a skill you're not proficient with.
Actually, it's a +3 for me.
Yeah,
and I
it could
rolled.
be high.
Yours got to be ones you're higher. I'm +10 on performance.
Yeah, you know, though, when your highest skills are deception, I could have gone survival, and everything else is pretty much.
What did you get?
All in, I rolled a 14, so I got 17 all in.
Okay, great. Yeah, you, rather than using the wheel, are just singing what you want the ship to do at the ship. And it sort of works. So, relatively
Little
smooth.
docking bay, I'm coming your way. Don't worry, Mr. Elemental. Don't be a little lentil.
So, the rest of you, who are, I imagine, fucking terrified. What you can see a bunch of stuff. You can see like there's a bunch of other airships of various sizes docked. You can quite clearly see there's a series of relatively more central docking pylons. Attached to one of them is a cloud with a tower built on top of it. That's the thing you are looking for. You could also see there's a big, I don't know what to call it, like balcony? Like a really large balcony. From what you can see, it's like 40, 50 foot tall, an aperture. And from that, you see there is a giant bird, like a rock, is released and begins to fly around the space. I should point out, it's not clear sky in here. There's patches of cloud. It's just relatively still. It's not blue sky because of the storms all the way around it. It's just quiet in here. You can hear the rumble of thunder coming from the storms all around. Can everyone make perception checks, please?
Oh dear. 1. 5, all told.
All in, I am on 6.
14.
Sorry, interesting. Oh, it's still plus nothing. Why am I even trying? 16.
16. There is a whooshing sound and a sudden wind that abates as quickly as it had arrived. And what you see is this rock, this giant bird, is flying around this sort of floating citadel, for want of better terminology. And something massive just moved past you in the air. Richard and Briony are able to track it, and what you see is a white dragon hunting this giant eagle. And after a couple of seconds, you can see the eagle has seen it and is trying to dodge it. The white dragon just lands on it, grabs it with its 4 claws, starts biting it and dragging it around. It flies around the back of the citadel, and you lose sight of it.
We try and describe it to Ruff and Phillin like David Attenborough.
Whereas, that is what occurs. Before long, you guys are approaching the docking pylon, or the appropriate one because you rolled well. Matt, would you make another performance check to dock appropriately?
Sure can, and I've rolled an 18, so let's add my 3 to it. That's 21.
Lovely stuff. Done. You successfully dock. The rest of the guys throw a couple of ropes across, at which point Glenn's like, great work, team. Good luck. I'm going to wait until you cause what I imagine will be an inevitable amount of distraction, and then I'm going to leave. Good luck. I'll see you around.
I just turn to Flynn with my hand on the wheel and I go, look after her. She's a good ship. And then I hold eye contact for longer than it's comfortable.
While that's happening, I'm at the back of the ship, dragging the rope with all the metal things on it, the deck.
Yes, I gather my things and
I hug Flynn goodbye and say thank you.
I turn away and mutter thank you.
I say to Mr. Hardcastle, "You're welcome, Mr. Hardcastle."
Not you, Phillin. Phillin, I'm going to be honest. Throughout that entire time, my heart was in my mouth, and I'm amazed we're not dead.
Oh, you know what I say about flying? If you can't sing it.
Helen, you were amazing.
Thank you very much. You were amazing. What a great voyage. The exits are here, and here. And by here, I mean that one there. Let's go rescue someone whose name I can't remember.
I hate you.
So you step off onto this docking pylon, which is, imagine just like a sort of long, like a jetty, like you'd have on a pier, but with railings on the side, and it's like 10 foot wide. And it's carved. It's made out of almost ice white wood. Maybe it's not clear if it's wood or not. At the end of that is an iron gate that isn't locked. It opens up onto a corridor inside of the citadel proper, with stairs leading down, stairs leading up, and you've arrived. You can see from the docking platform you're on, you look down, like a couple of levels down is the one you need to head to.
Yeah.
And you can see there's a lot of guards down there, but there's just this one's unguarded.
I think ultimately we need to head down. Usually when you're keeping prisoners in a criminal organization, it tends to be in a basement level.
Yeah, but I've read books and usually they're in a tower and they're locked away and they have long hair.
Well, actually, we're also looking for her tower. Can we see the tower, Paul?
Yeah, it's down on the level I was referring to. The level you want to get to is the level where the tower is docked.
Oh, okay.
And are we? Am I correct in thinking we are no longer on the plane of air, or is this another area?
You're still on the plane of air. It's just you're on an area of the plane of air that has its own gravity.
So I think maybe then we go up. We ask. Maybe when there's not so many guards around that might know whether they know us or not, find one guard and ask them where Halcyon is. We need to find her before we get the tower.
Okay, 1 second. I've just got to run back on the ship for 1 second. Mr. Flynn, before we go, could you make me invisible again?
Sure.
For real this time. I think everyone else was having me on.
Well then, yeah, but it'll last for what, like, God, I can't remember the duration of this spell.
Let's say a cool mill.
Let's not.
We're in disguise, Phillin.
I know, but we might
make the disguises redundant.
Not if we need a sound distraction from somewhere else.
Well, no, but if you make a sound, you'll become visible again.
Oh. Well, goodbye, Mr. Flynn. Until we meet again.
Great, good talk. Bye.
While this conversation has been going on, I'm not with any rapidity or sense of purpose, but I've just started walking towards the big unguarded iron gate at the end of the walkway.
Yep.
I'm just sort of doing that like tic-tac diagonal walking and seemingly slightly singing to myself under my own breath.
Okay. Lovely. And Briony, did you want to hunt? Or did you want to?
I want to find a guard that's by themselves.
Did you want to? Because you were also looking down towards the lower levels, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Briony, can you make a perception check? Because you're the only one who's made that argument.
14 is a +0. I don't need to ever look for perception.
Okay, so what you can see on the lower level is there's a bunch of other gravy boys wearing this sort of sky blue sash of various. There's like a wide variety of races present amongst them. There's also there's like 3 or 4 minotaurs stood like guarding the entrance to the tower, like just stood on the edge of the docking pile and not on the cloud bit. You can see that the tower itself is open. And what you then see is you're too far away to hear what he's shouting, but you see 15, 16 foot tall, like a noticeably like double the size of a regular minotaur, blue minotaur with sort of ice horns, wearing armor, stalk out and bellow something at the assembled masses. Throws his arms wide, points.
Points where?
At the citadel proper. Pounds his chest, and then throws his arms up, and you can just faintly hear a large group of people cheering.
Okay.
And then he turns around, locks the door to the tower. You can see him put something on his belt loop, and then him and the 4 other minotaurs make their way back into the out of your line of sight towards the citadel.
Did you? Can we? Sorry, Briony, go on.
No, I was going to say I relay that to them. That's quicker than me doing it.
Are there any other ships on other docks that we might be able to get to?
Yeah, quite a few.
Because we could drop a ship on all of those people.
That is our move.
Classic us. We need to steal one of these ships and just drop it on top of them and then try and get in the tower.
Works for Flesh Gordon.
Did you think, Claire, did you think that the thing that the Minotaur was putting on his belt was some sort of keys?
Yeah. And I think that's I think he's Lucifer Gravy. He was massive, blue. He makes everyone wear blue. If I had a gang, I would probably make them all wear red.
Like, is that why you got kicked out of the band? Because you tried to make everyone...
No, they found out my surname and couldn't handle it. Sound familiar?
Under my breath, you just hear me go.
Awkward.
We should the only thing is we don't have control over the gravity here. I still say we find a guard and ask them where Halcyon is, because if she's in the tower, we need to get those keys and get her. If she's not, we need to get her, and she might know how to get into the tower with or without keys.
What you're saying, Miss Claire, is it's time this band did another performance.
Yeah, a performance as thugs. Can we wander down and talk to some of the guards?
Hang on. Wait. Foxcroft, that was not a direct instruction. Rewind.
Yeah.
Go on. We play with live ammo here.
Yeah.
Go on, Rufus.
I know. Because there are several... We don't know all of the people down there, but we do know there are several Minotaurs. And we also know that they are very hard to kill.
Yes. The Minotaurs left with the large Minotaur, didn't they? There's now less people down there.
Fewer.
From what you can see.
Yeah, but there are loads of them. And if we've got to battle our way along that walkway through Minotaurs and then into the tower and then up the tower to the top, that is a lot of fighting. Whereas if we can get one of these ships that can float and just fly to the top of the tower, smash the top of it off, jump in, and then fight our way down the tower, we'll either find who we're looking for and then be able to escape with the boat that we crashed into it without having to fight everyone, or just fuck off because we know that there's no one there that we need to get.
Okay, so let's get to a boat. I still say if we can find one guard by themselves that we could definitely outnumber and just get intel as to whether Halcyon's in that tower or not would be useful. Just saying.
Why don't we, with Star Wars it proper, why don't we do both?
What?
Yeah.
The party above and
me and Claire go down, we distract. Me and Mr. go down, we distract them. You guys get that ship. And once you light it up, well, we'll do groundwork. I don't know what it means, but you know what? Team best friends forever.
Phillin and Claire put their hands in and wait.
Quack, 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 quack.
How about
Quack, quack, quack,
Quack,
quack, quack?
quack, quack. What are we doing? A guard has joined you.
Oh.
Hello.
Quack.
I'm already into character. Hello, name and rank.
What?
We're just having a laugh. What's your name? We
Yeah.
just come over from Cascadia. When was the last time you got there?
I've not been to Cascadia myself. I just work on the ship slick.
Oh, mate, you gotta get down to Cascadia. It's full of people to eat.
I was just wondering, we've been
You eat people.
Yeah, I eat people. Do you not eat people?
Make an intimidation check, Matt.
Oh, I rolled a 20.
This guy he visibly takes a step back towards the gate he'd just come through.
Wait, sorry, we've been instructed by Lucifer Gravy to move the prisoner, Halcyon.
Calcium?
Halcyon, Galeforth. We've been instructed to move the prisoner. So, but
What? Where?
well, that's for us to know.
That is for us to know, and I'll tell you what. I'm not happy with how you're acting. We need to do this fast. So if you could take my two friends up here to get one of those ships ready, they're going to instruct you on what needs doing. And can you point us in the way which is the quickest way we can get this done?
Halcyon.
And
What?
as Phillin's saying that, I wander over to the guard and I get really close to him. I get like literally millimeters from his face, look him right in the eye and go, yeah.
He passes out from the breath.
Okay.
One down.
I am.
Guys, I just want you to know that was me all along. I was doing a character.
I check his if he's got a map.
This isn't a early 90s action adventure RPG. None of the villains are carrying maps to their home.
Damn it!
Does he have anything?
Instead, at the top of the staircase, there's a notice board.
Oh, let's go to the notice board.
There is a poster. There's a couple of notices. One is one reads Wednesday night chess club. Also Dragon Chess Club. And just read Eastern Guard Tower, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It says prize ? That's handwritten. There is another poster which is a sort of stylized drawing of Lucifer Gravy pointing at the viewer with the caption "The Inner Plains Army needs you."
I've picked. Well, actually, I haven't picked him up. The guard I've got by the ankles, and I'm just dragging him in the direction I was already walking.
Cool.
Guys,
So there is another thing which is which reads hang on, I can't find where I've written it. It's
that's a funny note to read, Paul.
Go fuck yourself. And what it reads is it's got today's date on it. And it reads like at 1 p.m. Lucifer Gravy himself will wrestle a devil in single combat in the Colosseum. All members of the Inner Plains Army required attendance. Lucifer Eternal, sorry.
Is there a picture of the devil?
No.
So at 1 p.m. we've got a distraction. If we do this quietly, we can do this.
What time is it now?
What time and what day is it?
It is it's that day. And it is, by your reckoning, not that any of you have a means of keeping time, you're reckoning it is just after lunchtime, so probably about 10 past 12.
We've got ages to wait till Dragon Chess Club.
Oh, so we
People
just.
start to go in.
Rich, if you don't have inspiration, you can have inspiration for the most hardcore comment. And that was part 2. So, some good advice in there, including the excellent "Don't Be a Twat" from Phillin. The Lighthouse song I referred to was me thinking about a song I think is just called "The Lighthouse." And it's by a band called Nickel Creek, who are a bluegrass band from the early 2000s. I'll put a link to that in the description below if I can find it. It's a sweet little song. See what you think. It's very sad. And that's that. So, thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, follow us on Twitter at QuestingTime, and hang around on the channel. We're about to put up a new video that I've made, which gives you a system for basically improvising NPC personalities on the fly, using a very simple, not even a 3-step, it's a 1-step system with 3 optional steps. If I can pop a link to that here, I will. If not, the description, or maybe it'll just turn up at the end of the video. I don't know how it works. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.